Thanks again for everybody coming to our presentation called Creative Video Review. We're here to talk about a big topic that's kind of leading the way online, which is online video. And we have, of course, our clients do video with us sometimes, and there's a lot of companies that are doing it right, and a lot of companies that maybe aren't doing it so right. And being that it's one of the fastest growing, forms of digital media, we like to share, our experience and what knowledge we have of video and online video with our clients, and that's why we're doing having the meeting today. So we're Blue Wave Marketing. We've been in business since 1991, and for people watching on the video, we're here in Boston, right across from the Garden, we are for people that don't know much about Blue Wave, we're an integrated marketing firm, and the things we do encompass corporate events, videos, and motion graphics, which we're talking about today, interactive media, and all our interactive is done entirely through our strategic partner, Antec, as well as design and promotions. And another new service that we'll be rolling out soon is strategic marketing consulting. So those are the services that we provide. But today we're going to be talking specifically about video at our Creative Video Review event. So the first question is, why video? Why do people watch video? Why do companies produce video? Anybody have any ideas? Probably do. People like watching video, right? We'd probably rather watch a video than read a page of text.
As a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Exactly. And 1,000 pictures are worth
times 30 frames per second, right?
Yeah.
So that's 300 words per second.
Yeah. So how many millions of
words per second?
So before I get into the discussion about the creativity and production values, which we'll get to in a moment, I thought I'd share some statistics with you. Some of you may have seen some of these stats before, but if you haven't, there's really compelling stats about online video. 181 million viewers watched 37 billion videos last month alone. About 70% of internet users watch online video, and it's up 43% from 2010. The average viewer watched about 22 hours of online video content last month, so that's quite a bit of time on average watching video online. B2B video viewing was up 27% over the last 2 years, and confidence in video itself jumped by 36% among B2B marketers. So now, before a lot of B2B people say, well, B2B, what's video got to do with B2B? Well, 61% of marketers now believe it to be a very effective form of marketing. Email click-throughs improve 3 to 4 times when you have video embedded. And viewers are 4 to 7 times more likely to respond to video than static text and graphics. So in other words, if you're not including video in your emails or your website, you're really losing a very large percentage of your audience by not having video. And viewers spend much more time on your site when there is video included. This is a really strong stat. With proper optimization, video increases the chance of a front page Google result by 53 times. So if SEO means anything to your brand, video has got to be there. I don't know how many large multi-billion-dollar firms don't do that, and I just scratch my head and say, do they not know this statistic? Tech Journal reports that email subscribers opt out 75%. The opt-outs were reduced 75% thanks to video. So if you don't want people to opt out of your email blast, include video. 88% of marketing executives report that email with integrated video improves campaign performance. From all the other stats, that makes perfect sense, right? E-commerce sites sell about 50% or more when they have video included, and 87% of brands now, U.S. brands, are using video. So almost 90% of U.S. companies, major brands and agencies, are leveraging videos for their marketing. And there was record numbers for video during the holiday season last year, and there'll probably be more records this year. As far as mobile goes, mobile, I believe about 10% now. 10% of video now is watched on mobile devices, and that's growing all the time. Time spent looking at video on mobile apps has grown 52% this year alone, so it's exploding. Media Post reports that internet users consume about 50% more video than they did a year ago at the same time. So that's increasing very, very quickly. About half of U.S. mobile consumers are using smartphones, about 150 million. And mobile video marketing opportunities as a result are increasing really fast. Barcodes, have you guys ever used your phones for scanning barcodes? That's increased 157% in the first quarter of this year. So that's going off the charts. So those are all ways that people are using their mobile devices and how it's being integrated with video. A few stats on YouTube. I won't go over all these, but YouTube generates 4 billion views a day, and as of last year, YouTube was the second most visited site in the world. 3/4 of internet usage is video-based. That's a pretty strong stat. 2/3 of internet usage is video-based. Now, on average, people spend 15 minutes a day on YouTube, and there are 45 million homepage impressions every day in the U.S. alone. It would take 1,700 years to watch all the videos on YouTube. That's now. I can only imagine. So, if you really like it, if you want to watch, if you're planning on living 1,700 years, you might be able to watch them all. Another interesting thing is EdgeRank. Are you guys familiar with EdgeRank on Facebook? So EdgeRank is the algorithm that was developed by Facebook to direct what content appears in the newsfeed and how high it appears on Facebook. And basically, EdgeRank breaks into 4 main categories. So your edge equals your affinity times your weight times your time decay, that is. So affinity being how often people are interacting your brand. Weight would be, liking something is got less weight than sharing something on Facebook, for example. And time is time decay. So the longer something's on Facebook, the more there's a time decay. So its value is less over time. Videos hold the most weight out of any other type of content when determining EdgeRank. So it's very, very important to include videos in your Facebook page if you want traffic and you want a high EdgeRank. Because a higher EdgeRank means more engagement, more people watching your, going to your page and interacting with your brand. Talking about video and social media, videos are also a great way to do your blog. One of our clients actually just bought a bunch of lighting equipment because he's doing a weekly video blog. He used to write it, now he's doing it on video. So it's another great way to use video in your social media is doing video blogs. Does anybody have any questions about all the stats? I kind of want to just frame it with some statistics that I thought were relevant. There's actually over 100 stats out there. I tried to narrow it down to like 30. So I'd like to talk for a minute about steps for designing an effective corporate video marketing campaign. A lot of times people, we do business with a lot of companies and they say, well, we want to do videos. We hear videos are hot and we're just going to do them. Well, it's important to look at videos as a strategic element in your marketing mix and develop an effective corporate marketing campaign specifically for video. So the first thing you want to do is review your corporate marketing strategy. Before you design your campaign, consider what's your current messaging, what's your current strategy, what's your lead generation strategy, because the video should mirror or complement your current strategy, not go against it. Then you want to define your video campaign objectives. You want to look at, when you create videos, it can't serve all masters. So if you create a video campaign, you ought to look at, is it for lead generation? Is it to convert existing customers, or get more business effectively out of your existing customer base? Is it to get new customers on board? Sometimes it's just about brand awareness. Those are all the kind of videos you'll create will change depending on what your objective is. Once you determine your objective, then you want to develop campaign messaging that's relevant, targeted, and concise. And that will lay the foundation for your video marketing campaign. You want to determine your target audience and then determine how you're going to convey the message. So we will, for example, when we work with our clients, we help them with that part of it, especially is helping to develop the messaging based upon their audience or your audience. So the next step is then what do you do next? Many companies say, well, we're going to do a video, so let's get the camera crews into our office and start filming because we have a really nice office and let's film it. But that's not always the right approach. Sometimes that is. Sometimes you want to look at animations. Motion graphics can be a very effective way to tell a story. Maybe you want to go off-site and shoot something with your clients off-site, or just do something totally different. So think about different options that you have for production. Tell your story effectively. We can't emphasize enough how important storytelling is in video. If you want to get people to watch it and stay through and be engaged, you want to use some storytelling techniques we'll talk about later in the presentation today. And then once you produce your videos, then you want to ensure reliable streaming across all the different media. So you want to make sure, for example, if it's in Flash, it's not going to play on your iPhone. So make sure you have, your videos can be played everywhere across mobile devices, iPads, the internet, for example. Okay, and then you want to drive traffic and measure results. So creating the video and letting it sit there isn't the goal. The goal is to get people to watch it. So email campaigns, social media campaigns, even traditional marketing campaigns, events, things like that are places you can promote your online video series to drive traffic to your site. And then you want to analyze and measure it. And for example, Brightcove is a great back-end source for hosting your videos, and they have really good analytics. Not just how many clicks you get on your video like YouTube shows, but when people click on, when they click off, how long they're engaged. There's a lot of good metrics at Brightcove. So many companies use Brightcove. We recommend them as a possible back-end source. So those are steps that we like to kind of go over with our clients about developing video marketing campaigns that would be effective. Questions about that? No? Okay. So what is your story? I kind of alluded to storytelling earlier in the conversation, and storytelling is in many ways is a lost art. Not a lot of companies are effectively utilizing storytelling in their marketing. We're big fans of it. This was a really good quote I thought from a woman named Sandy Carter, who was an IBM marketing executive that's well known. Tell me a fact and I'll learn. Tell me a truth and I'll believe. But tell me a story and it will live in my heart forever. So if that resonates, a story has got so much more impact than just facts, figures, and information. So the reason why storytelling is important is that audiences have very discriminating taste these days. They're used to watching. They have you can see over 300 channels of TV, unlimited channels online of videos, but people are expecting broadcast quality video that's interesting and informative and fun to watch, and they expect that from businesses that they're going to do business with or buy from. And creativity and storytelling is a very important part of producing your company's marketing videos if you want people to stay engaged. And telling a good story, if you haven't done storytelling before, in whether it's videos or other forms of media, seems like it's kind of simple, but it's really not. It's not always very simple, but it generally is possible. It's really a matter of taking your company's many messages and distilling them down and developing a platform that will keep people engaged. And a lot of times it's making characters. Finding your product can be a character. Your company, your services can be a character in your video. It could be your executives. It could be a client of yours. It could be a patient that survives because of the drugs you create. But there's a lot of ways to find characters, and then you give them challenges and find interesting ways for them to solve those challenges. And that's kind of part of developing a story arc. So when you're creating a video, even if it's just a minute-long video, the ones that you'll find out that are very popular are ones that have strong storytelling and story arcs. And kind of the way that it can often be looked at is you're bringing up questions and answering along the way. So on a very high level, you can talk a lot about storytelling, but on a high level, you're introducing challenges and questions, and then you're answering them along the way. And that's one of the things that makes for a good story arc when you're developing a piece like that. And no matter how boring the material is, if it's in story form, there's suspense in it, and you feel like something's going to happen, and it compels viewers to want to stay engaged. So I think that what I'd like to do is show you a video of something that I think has got pretty strong storytelling techniques, and you can tell me what you think.
In a world dominated by laser scanners, all is not well. Barcodes are being missed, packages lost, deliveries late, orders are wrong. Laser scanners just can't achieve high enough read rates in many logistics, retail distribution, and postal markets. But they are our only option. Not anymore. Just in time, the DataMan 500 Laser Killer from Cognex has arrived. Nothing like this has ever been seen before in an image-based barcode reader. The Dataman 500 achieves higher read rates by reading the barcodes that laser scanners cannot read. Badly printed codes, damaged codes, distorted codes, blurred codes, scratched codes, low contrast codes, codes with quiet zone violations, even 2D data matrix and QR codes. The Dataman 500 can read them all. And unlike lasers, with image-based barcode reading, you can see what the reader sees, either live on a monitor or with image archiving for later review. Dataman 500 has no moving parts and is designed to be more reliable than laser scanners. Dataman 500 scans at over 1,000 frames per second, includes autofocus, auto-triggering, no read feedback, and high-speed Ethernet connectivity. Dataman 500 really is the laser killer for all your carton coding, secondary product labeling, small package sorting, warehouse tote tracking, presentation reading, and hand insertion code reading applications. Thanks, Cognex. For more information about Dataman 500 or other barcode reader options, contact Cognex today.
So that was for a piece of electronic equipment that basically an optical barcode reader. Now, does that seem like a very exciting piece of equipment to you guys? Right? Did this make it seem kind of more fun, more interesting to watch?
I felt sorry for the lasers.
Yeah, well, you know, the Terminator laser killer.
This was a laser killer.
Actually, it was laser. I even said, is that going a little extreme? It was a laser killer. No, like, it was like all out. They wanted to be creative. So they asked us to create like a Terminator type of machine out of their camera. So fun, right? So when people say, well, my company, we just really do boring stuff, I'm like, well, you know what? They make laser scanners. So if they can make that fun, anything can be fun, right? And that's what they say themselves, so I'm not putting them down. Another side note, is I'll talk about this a bit, is did you notice the Cognex before and after, the 3D type of effect? We recommend that for branding. Branding is, video branding is real important. It's funny, companies have very extensive branding guidelines for all their print, which no one prints anymore really, and they're to a certain degree web for the web, but there hasn't been really much effort by companies to think about branding for video, and we see it all over the map. So we suggest doing that kind of like a 3D opener and closer before that you bookend every video with, and so that's what Cognex does. And actually we created one for analog devices recently, last year. So do you feel like there was some storytelling in that? Did you get the sense of the story? And that make you
It will
kind
live
of
in my heart forever.
Will it live in your heart forever? The laser killer. All right. Good. Well, I hope that kind of gave that impression. So production values. This is a shoot we actually just did in DC. And by the way, the examples I'm showing, I considered showing ones from other sources, but we have enough projects we've done. We're just showing our own, and partly because we know the story behind it. So we think it's more effective. So you'll be seeing all these things that work that we had done recently. This is a shoot in Washington D.C. and we're going to be talking about production values. And part of production values. Do you guys know what production values are? Does anybody have any idea what the word production values means in video?
Money.
It can be money.
Sets, lighting.
It generally does correlate to a certain degree with cost. Production values are the kind of the term for what goes into your video to make it better, and what type of things that drive production values. So good production values, if you see Mission Impossible 17, where they just put on Mission Impossible 3 or 4, you can probably guess that there was probably about 100 people in that set, and all kinds of reflectors and audio techs and video techs. Well, that's a Hollywood movie. However, there's a lot of videos that have very low production values. A lot of videos you've probably seen online. And production, I'll talk about in a minute about production values and the importance of production values. So audio, the audio quality, the video quality, the videographers, the equipment you have to shoot, lighting equipment, how well lit the video is. Those are all things that's related to production values. Also things like the writing, good a strong visual director and a director of photography. They all contribute to good production values. So why are production values important in video? You've probably seen, you guys have seen a lot of probably, I'm sure you've seen a lot of Hollywood movies. Have you seen a lot of low production value type of videos online? Where the audio wasn't great, or you could, with lighting wasn't very good, it was kind of hard to see. So one of the reasons why production value is important because of rising viewer expectations. Viewers are watching almost 240 videos a month now online, and the lengths of videos they're watching are increasing. And as viewers migrate from television, which is generally speaking high production values, to the web, they're expecting the same quality. So the expectation from the viewer, they're expecting broadcast quality. They're not expecting something that looks homemade. The more sophisticated viewing devices are driving the need for high production values, because mobile devices are being used more and more, and video is being used more and more, as we discussed earlier. The iPad 3 is a higher resolution than HD TV, actually over 1 million more pixels in the new iPad 3. So you can see blemishes. You can't hide things anymore. With low resolution TV, things can happen. You don't see them on your TV. But now with the higher the resolution, the more you're going to see imperfections. So you have to have better quality video. It also makes for a better user experience. A professionally shot video that's well lit, tightly edited, that has good audio, is much more appealing than a homemade looking video. Would you guys agree? I mean, when you're watching it visually, that's important to see, right? So that it does help drive a better user experience if you have good production values. Your competitors are doing it. You better believe that your competitors are doing it. If you're in a competitive space, which most of you guys probably are in your businesses, the majority of North American companies now, as described earlier, are using video, and they're using it for content marketing, which is really, video is effectively content marketing. And they're spending a lot more in 2012 than they were last year, I believe about 50% more. So your videos have to be at least comparable to your competition, if not better. Ideally better, but at least comparable. So everybody's doing it, people are spending more on video, they're making them better, so if you're not, you'll look like you're falling behind. And it also makes for more compelling content. Production values aren't just the technical side of lighting and audio, they're also the producer, the director, the writer. They help, the producers can help craft your message to make it better and hone your story to make it tighter, and that's all really part of production values. So you can leverage the production values to make a better video. It can also detract. You can have a great story, but if you don't have good production values, it will detract from your message. So those are 5, I think, very important reasons why production values matter. And what I'd like to do is from here, show a series of about 5 or 6 or 7 different types of videos that you may have done as businesses. You may have thought about producing these type of videos. You may be thinking about producing these type of videos. So I'll show you some examples that I think might be good examples of effective usage of these different types of formats. So first is company overview videos. Have you guys? How many of you guys have companies that have like an overview video on your website? Does anybody have a company? Does everybody have like a video that kind of goes over their? Okay. Well, you may want to do that one of these days, depending on your business. You may want to think about that. This video we produced for a company that you saw the pictures earlier of the columns. There were columns that used to be on the State House before they did the addition in the 1950s. So they, in a park in D.C., they put these columns, and we thought it would be a good backdrop for a company called Monument Wealth Management, because they wanted that monumental feel and strength, and the towers we thought were good. So we scouted that location, and we shot there in April, and this is the video that we produced for them.
Monument Wealth Management, 4 guys, 4 entrepreneurs. In May of 2008, we left one of the largest brokerage houses on Wall Street. We wanted to take control of our own destiny, much like many of the clients we deal with on a day-to-day basis. That's the primary reason why we started Monument Wealth Management. What's an ideal client for Monument Wealth Management? It's someone that we can deliver value in both financial planning and asset management on a long-term basis. We'd like an opportunity to sit down to discuss what a boutique wealth management firm can do for you. We're accessible, we're unique, we're a revolutionary experience.
So, did you guys get a good feeling for that company by watching that video?
Mm-hmm.
Very short. Did you like the cinematography? Did it feel like good production values?
Very professional.
Yeah. Well, thank you, and they'll say thank you too. They're the ones that they were the ones that spent the money on it. But if you can see the set, that picture I showed, there was about 15 people on the set. holding reflectors, and we had black velvet on the one side to block the light on the one side, and all that stuff that you don't see when you see a movie or TV show. You don't see all the stuff that goes into it. And to get the right lighting and the right sound, there's a lot of people that get involved in that. So you want a video that looks like that. The funny thing is that is a boutique wealth management firm. They're not big, although their average customer is $5 million worth and up. So they've got very expensive, very rich clients. But you know, American Express and other companies that are in the financial business, I guarantee that not one of them has a video like that, for the most part. And they really should. I mean, a little boutique has got a better video than, you know, than multi-billion-dollar companies. It really doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's what's really helping them, because they have such a strong company overview video. So instructional how-to videos. Does anybody have anything like that on their website or thinking about? Okay. I know at ADI, right? We talked about Patrick has done some work like that before. So you can probably imagine that how-to videos are sometimes a little bit dry and not so fun to watch. So ADP approached us about a new product they had called the Align Card, which is a card for consumers, for employees to choose. Rather than getting paper checks, they can get this bank card, which is almost like a debit card, and the money gets automatically put on it. The company saves money by not having paper checks. There's a lot of benefits for the employee to choose this Align Card. So rather than just going right into the how-to, we did a short video on what the benefits were of this Align Card.
The Align Card. I'm very excited about the Align Card. The Align Card is going to save me both money and time, and that means more time with my daughter.
I'm like everyone else, you know, I work hard for my money. The Align Card helps me keep my money in my pocket. It's the safest, easiest way I've ever been paid.
My pay is deposited right onto my Align Card. Now I have surcharge-free access to my pay at over 60,000 ATMs. I can actually load additional funds by purchasing a Green Dot Money Pack at retail locations nationwide.
I don't have a traditional bank account, but with the Align Card, it allows me to be able to do the things that I couldn't do before, like make purchases online. I can write checks, I can reserve travel, I can even get cash.
I was spending hours a month going into banks and those check cashers. Every check I cut cost me my money.
You know, now I see a check cashing place and, you know, I just pass right on by. I don't have to go there anymore. It's made my life easier.
The Align Card is accepted at millions of locations worldwide.
With the Align Card, I can take care of me and my son better. And it's helping me be a lot more responsible with my money.
You guys like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Those are actors. Do you think they did a good job acting? Well, there's a lot of good talent around here. Los Angeles has got the best talent on average. You want to do a great shoot with great actor, great talent. Great talent out in New York as well. But between New York and LA, there's really good talent. And up in Boston, it's easy to get talent. Up here, if we don't find it here, get it in New York. But that was the goal here, was to really describe the benefits of that card in a very appealing, commercial, you know, high level way. So do you get the feeling? You guys know what the Align Card does? So that is used as an introduction, and then I'm not going to play this whole next video because it's a few minutes. But this is the instructional video.
If you're like me, you want to know how you can use the Align Card by ADP and make sure you don't pay fees. Here are the things you need to know about the Align Card and its associated fees. We're going to briefly explain why fees are charged when you use your Align Card to withdraw money, make inquiries about account balances, replace or add cards, or request paper statements.
Cardholders each get one free withdrawal per pay period from an in-network ATM. Each balance inquiry at any ATM results in a $2 fee, regardless if it's in or out of network. Contacting customer service for your balance inquiries.
I think that might be a good way to look at an effective way to do a how-to video, depending on the subject matter. Sometimes you want to show something being used more visually, but for like a service product like this, you know, we think that could be a good way to, you know, consider making a how-to video for a financial company or a technology company or something. So, did you like that though? Did that feel good to you to watch? Cool.
Do you have it also divided into making, like if I just want to see how I withdraw money, do you have it some?
There's three different videos. So there's 3 different videos we created for them. Each one's about 3 minutes long. So I forget the titles for each one, but one was
but those 4 options, if you just want to see the one option, can you go to that directly?
That's like interactive video. No, not in this. In this scenario, just three playthrough videos were created. You could like scroll and go to it, but you know, you can also, you know, you can divide it. You can create a menu with many different selections, and you can make it interactive, and then go right to the area you're looking at. But what we did in this situation, we created like 3 different levels of 3 different segments, selections. So yeah, but that's a good way to look at it, is doing a purely interactive piece. So product videos are another thing that, how many guys have been in companies that have created product videos? Hanover, okay. And ADI, okay. So product videos are, a lot of companies do product launches and they're always doing videos for them. Again, we've seen a lot of, if you guys see videos that weren't so fun to watch? Okay, okay, so the goal is to take out the popcorn and make it fun to watch, right? So this next video, there are a couple videos, I'll just play part of each. This is a product video we did for a company called PTC. Like that product video? Is that more fun than some other ones? Didn't talk about the product at all, right? Just had 3 of the things it does, and that bike is made by their software. And that's why in the end of it, in the beginning, you saw that CAD kind of software going in and out. That was their software, visuals of their software coming together, and that's what makes that bike, that motorcycle. So they collaborated with KTM Motorcycle for that footage, and they put it together with the graphic animation. But that to me is a great example of really being creative and talking on a high level about your messaging and not talking about the specifics. And when it comes to creating videos, we often say that if your goal is to describe your product and services in detail and discuss it, great, make it as fun and interesting as you can. But if your goal is brand awareness or getting viral or getting people excited, you can't do both. And this is an example of just be super exciting, find a very, very exciting way to find a tangential, relationship between your product and the brand or and the visuals, and make it fun. And that's, if you want, we often hear, you may have read online, that every brand should have a million view video. And to do that, you can't do a video that describes your shirt. Even though, like, I think the ADP piece is pretty nice, it's not going to get a million views. It's not going to, oh, you have to watch this video, and share. It's not going to be shared virally. But this piece from PTC could possibly, because it's exciting and fun, and humor is a big part of it. If you want your video to be viral, you want to be funny. But you can't really both talk about your products in detail and create something really exciting and creative to get that video. So what do? You do both. Ultimately, if you want to do both, you
No other instrument, no other solution can achieve this performance and have this kind of impact on science. Others have promised. Waters delivered. Do you have it? Waters invented QTOF technology, and now Waters has advanced it by accelerating the evolution of mass spectrometry with an unparalleled instrument that will revolutionize your analytical workflow to the factor of X. When safeguarding the integrity of food products, you need high-quality data you can use and process instantly. When developing life-enhancing medications, you need to spend less time with the instrument and more time with the analysis. When striving to cure diseases through a better understanding of protein function, you need rigorous identification and universal quantification. Waters invented the formula, and now Waters has changed the equation. X equals engineered simplicity of the Xevo QTOF, a high-performance instrument that provides the power to perform experiments and the freedom to focus on results. Xevo's engineered simplicity delivers workflow benefits like no other system can. 1. Prepare. With Water's patented IntelliStart technology, scientists of any level can spend less time gathering more data. 2. Analyze. With Xevo QTOF High Performance,
Okay, so I kind of don't want to spend too much time on that, but the idea here is, did you get the good feeling for what that product did, at least from a high level? And one example is for the messaging. There was a lot of things that they wanted to put into this video. So we got them to boil down to 4 points. You see the numbers coming up? We got down to analyze and measure, and we boiled it down to 4 big categories and made it shorter and more concise. So that's very, very important to do in your videos. Most companies have a lot of things they want to say, and you pare it down as tight as you can to be as concise as you can. So we thought they did a pretty good job with that. Now, viral videos I brought up because I thought that, do any of you guys are doing viral videos? I know, Patrick, you got some kind of viral campaigns going on, right? So viral videos, do you guys know what I mean by viral video? Mm-hmm. I don't mean getting sick either, but you probably didn't see much too many of them.
Something that has somebody riding a bike into a wall or something like that?
Yes, exactly. So viral videos are videos that you just put out there because you want them to get viral. Now you can't make a video become viral; it's impossible. You can do whatever you can to make a video really cool. The only way to guarantee it'll be viral is if Justin Bieber's in it. Only kidding. Only kidding. He was out here like a couple months ago at a concert, and there was like 1,000 young girls screaming for him. It was pretty funny. But the way you make a viral video is you have to find something generally is funny, either very exciting, very extreme, or very funny. Again, this is not a piece that you talk about your product in detail. So this is a video that we thought was a pretty good example. It's 30 seconds, and hopefully you'll get the point of it. And it's Cognex again. They tend to be one of our more creative clients. So. So there's a few other videos like that, car breaking down the desert, Death Valley, and things like that, funny things like that. Does that? I mean, that's probably more fun to watch than technical manual on the electronics inside the camera, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So again, that's a good example. I think that almost no matter what brand you are, maybe some companies it wouldn't be the right fit for, but many brands getting some viral videos out there, getting people talking about you, sharing your videos. You need to think of that down that kind of line of thinking. Something fun and interesting, creative, that doesn't just talk about your product.
I think of the very popular Old Spice.
Yeah.
The Manly Man.
Yes. Yeah, like that. Like that's a commercial, right? These are almost like commercials. They're not commercials, but they're kind of like, you want to raise awareness and do something funny and extreme. It's kind of like thinking more of a commercial mindset, 30-second TV commercial than it is like an online video about your products, right? Mm-hmm. That's a good example. I don't have a video to show for this, but because I didn't want this going on too long, showing the videos. Online TV channels. Another new thing that's happening is companies are now seeing, well, there's all these networks online, all these broadcast networks, Fuel TV and NTV and Bravo, right? Well, there's such a proliferation of online video now, and online video is now starting to capture some of the market share from broadcast television. And now brands can create their own online TV channels, which have got a lot of advantages, because now you're not buying advertising and just being one 30-second ad with everything else. You control the whole dynamic. And if you can get people to watch your online TV channel, they're engaged with your brand the whole time. So Borders Books has done it, Barnes & Noble, and there's been a number of other companies. I think CVS has their own online TV channels, which is really structuring videos that come out periodically, like television. And there's usually a number of different shows and a number of different episodes. And you get people to come back regularly because they want to watch the next, mini episode. Typically 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minute long short episodes. So online TV channels could be something that you may want to think about. We're talking to Staples. We've talked to Staples about this. about a project that they were looking at for online TV. And we had suggested, for example, producing an interface like this, like a television, sort of like what you'd expect when you were going through TiVo or something. On the left would be the different TV channels, Easy Button TV for their popular products, Business Beat for business owners, Staples Soul college-related programming, and Staples Made Easy, which would be their how-to channel. And then for each of these channels, there's, for example, for this we proposed small business stories, risky business about identity and data protection. We actually did a video on that called Risky Business. So that would be kind of a kickoff show for them if they decide to move forward with this this online TV network, and a few other ones like Entrepreneur of the Year and Business Moments and others. So the idea is we'd be able to, they could shoot 5 or 6 different episodes in a couple days, and then those can last a couple months. And so there's efficiencies gained by shooting things together and then having a constant stream of new video, a very, very rich library of video that people come to as a destination. And you know, a brand like Staples gets people coming to them because they're thinking about where do I go for identity protection? I want to go to Staples because they think of Staples first. That's a great position to be in the market. So something to think about is online television for your brand. A couple more examples I'd like to show is executive videos. Does anybody have executive videos on their site? Anybody have internal executive videos that you had to watch of your CEO talking for a half hour? Does that happen? Yeah, you've had that poison before, right? So, so executive videos can also be produced in a way that's not boring. And also, has anybody ever noticed that executive videos are often, people look very staged and very like deer in the headlights, right? Type of look. Well, we recommend finding a different way to do an executive video, and I'll show you what I mean.
I can relax in a matter of a couple of minutes when I'm on the boat. It's a nice release. It's a nice way to just unwind. I manage a lot of the assets. I enjoy the fulfillment that you get when you make an investment and it works. What I've learned over the years is you got to have a discipline, you have to have a strategy, you have to have a belief and stick with it. What makes me happy? When things are working. I tend to listen a lot more than I do speak. And that's how it all fits together. That's what I like to do with the portfolios that I manage. And that's a tremendous benefit to the clients because they know somebody's listening, somebody's watching, somebody's at the helm, and it feels good. I learned something from every firm that I was at. One firm was smaller, one firm was bigger, one firm was huge, but at the end of the day, they were all sales institutions. It wasn't about the customer, it wasn't about the client. And the older I got and had kids, I was like, my clients are my neighbors, my friends. So it meant a lot to try to do the right thing on a daily basis. By having the company that we have formed and the partners that are there with their levels of expertise is a wonderful thing. We got to know each other before we formed the company, and we developed a level of trust and respect. Most people in our industry say client comes first, but I can tell you it's rare. If you're a client and you have a question, you can call directly in and talk to the person who's making that decision, and that's very rare. If there was one thing that people should understand about becoming a client of mine is the fact that you're going to get the straight story. You're going to get a portfolio that is designed for you to succeed. And I take a lot of pride in that.
You guys like that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Would you trust them with your money? Sure you would. The idea being, you know, most financial advisors think being flashy and having your Rolex watch and wearing your $3,000 suit, that's what gets people to want to work, you know, give you their money to invest. But other research shows that what's more important is having somebody that you really can trust, and having a feeling of trust and you know that person, you're friendly with them. So they took that track instead of trying to talk about his resume and how great he is and how all the accomplishments he had. He talked the human story about why he does what he does, and I think that's a better story to tell. But did you get a feeling for the story? Did you like that? Yeah, that I think is a nice piece for an executive video, and that's the kind of video that you can do if you're looking to get your executives sort of out of the shell and get them to really be themselves on camera. Much more effective than sitting at the desk and talking about how to meet the numbers, right? So, so we think that's a nice example of an executive video. The last piece I'll show is something that you may not be producing for yourselves. Some companies here may be producing broadcast television. I mean, for like, commercials for TV and things. I can show you a piece of this. I can't show you the whole thing. It's a pilot TV show that we have in the works. On all your T-shirts that you have, you'll see Glass little on the logo on the bottom. So Glass is a company that I'm involved with. You see the surf film on the wall right there. The name Blue Wave actually comes from the surfing industry, and I've got a background in making surfing movies, and we kind of have this brand Glass out of California. It's the sister brand of Blue Wave out of Santa Barbara. So we have a reality TV series we're talking to the networks about getting on TV, and I can show you for just a little bit of it. But the important thing is it's storytelling, and I think pretty good production values. And you can tell me what you think, but I can't play the whole thing because it's supposed to be confidential. So.
Board sports culture is everywhere. Whether you're a board rider or not, it's driving the fashions we wear, the films we watch, even the music we listen to. Hi, I'm John Moran, founder and owner of Glass, and we make art-driven board sports apparel and films. Since 2005, we've produced our edgy and authentic lifestyle brand to offer an alternative to the big corporate mainstream brands out there. But in order to stay alive and on top of the game, I have to make sure that we're always one step ahead. That's why I put together a team of experts as my talent scouts in the fields of film, design, and music. Together, we will tour the most exciting board sport scenes around the globe in search of the most talented and undiscovered artists who will be chosen to join the Glass brand.
Hey, it's Jenna from Glass. My happiness pretty much is based on getting to play and be free and doing sports that I love.
Hi, I'm Nico and I work for John Moran.
My first girlfriend, I don't even remember.
My favorite board sport is definitely skateboarding.
Hi, I'm Casey. How often do I get out surfing? I'd love nothing more to travel the world and surf. Hell yeah.
Throughout our journey, I'll be assisted by Greta, my field producer. It's her job to make sure things run smoothly, and she better be up to the task.
I was really excited to be chosen to work on this project. It's all of the things that I love. It's action sports, it's art, it's music.
The hardest part of my job right now is having come into the project last minute. There's a lot to learn in a short period of time that I'm responsible for.
3 bands, 3 films, art show.
I'm never going to go snowboarding, am I?
The next great generation of designers, filmmakers, and musicians of Glass are out there, and we're going to find them, whatever it takes.
I don't think your crew can be trusted to get this job done.
I hired you to take care of this. It's
okay. That's where I start becoming a real dick. So I don't want to get the wrong impression of me. It's not reality TV without the jersey and me coming out. But that's does that? I mean, that's a project we're working on. We're entering the broadcast world with that, and it's fun. It'll hopefully be happening. But
if it doesn't get to broadcast, would you put it online? Like you have the Funny or Die and the screen?
We may, but we're getting pretty close.
Okay.
So we're hoping, knock on wood. It's too expensive to produce as an online show. Actually, that's the challenge. The locations we go to surf, skate, and snowboard destinations around the world for the show. So we jokingly say that the Blue Wave mobile office will be hitched in the back. Have to be running Blue Wave from. So we'll worry about that when it comes. But that's just kind of a fun little way to end it. I thought might just be to kind of show you a clip of our TV series that's in the works. I'm not him. If you see me on TV, if it ever happens, that's my evil twin brother. But I want to just wrap up with any questions you may have about everything we talked about: the stats of online video, creativity in video, storytelling, production values. Anybody have any questions, comments, thoughts? Were you inspired?
John, one of the things that a few friends of mine have been involved with for the last couple of years, and they've been talking to me about it, but I haven't really investigated much, is augmented reality. Mm-hmm. And I was just curious, where your head's at on that, and what your clients are thinking, and what kind of direction they're going
on. So there's a lot of different things with augmented reality that are happening out there. Just that as video producers, we don't do a lot of that yet, but
well, it makes sense. It sounds like the world has to catch up to good quality video first before you can go to the next level.
Yeah. Not to say that that's not important. It's just that we're seeing it slowly creeping into video, but we so far haven't done an assignment where we actually had augmented reality or or interactive TV, I should say, interactive video. There's augmented reality and interactive. It's kind of related, but.
And one last question is around if you have a client that you know doesn't have the budget to support the quality that we've seen here.
Yeah.
What kind of advice do you give them? How do you get somebody started? Even though they want to do video, they want to do something smart, but they don't have the budget to do the things that you just showed. What kind of advice do you give those guys?
Well, if you don't have the budget, there's a couple things. When people haven't done video before, their assumption of video costs are about 10% of reality. So sometimes you have to just sort of do the reality check on a cost of a video production. To do any kind of quality does cost a certain amount. Now, not every shoot needs to have 15 people running around, you know, DPs and assistants and multiple video cameras and things like that, for sure. So often it comes to a certain degree, what's your budget to start with, and if it's something that's at least reasonable, then we can decide what's the most important thing. So I would say things like, you know, the story and the creative are very, very important. So if it means dropping from 3 cameras to 2 or changing your shoot location to make it work, those are the things you cut before you start cutting things like writing and creative, because without that, you're not even telling you the story, right? So I'd say that you kind of look at what budget you really do have, and then we help you figure out what's the best way to spend that money and not, you know, not rob Peter to pay Paul, so to speak. And sometimes, though, I'll say that if the budget's too low, don't do it. Because if you make something that's really not good, it's going to reflect so badly on your brand that wait till you can afford it. But don't do a video that's going to be so poorly produced that it detracts and it's a negative on your brand. So as long as you have enough to produce something reasonable, then there's a lot of ways to do it. And one thing that we do is, like, if you're doing a number of videos, shoot number at a time. When we did the monument videos, we had 5 videos. We had 4 partner videos and the overall video. We did it all in 3 days. So we crammed a lot of shooting in, a lot of videos in a short period of time. So there's ways you can get economies of scale by doing that. And there's some videos that don't cost a lot to produce, but on average, you know, you kind of you want to look at the more you can cover, you know, the more you can make sure your video production has got high quality, you know, storytelling and creative, as well as, you know, reasonably high quality production values, the better. But again, you know, not every video is going to have the ROI to justify spending 60 grand on a video. So you're going to have to find ways to do it cheaper, and I would just say we work with our clients to find a way to make it work. Okay.
Every project's different, but is there a typical length of time that a client could expect from beginning to end, to create a video for their website?
Typically, I'd like to say it's good to figure 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks to produce a video on average, because of all the work it just takes to write it and get approvals internally and get the story down before you even shoot it. Then you shoot it, then you have to have time to edit, but then go back and forth with revisions. So on average, you know, we say anywhere from 6 weeks to 3 months for most projects. Sometimes shorter. I mean, we've done things where someone, I have a video shoot next week, and you run like crazy to get it done. But on average, to do it right, I'd say 6 to 12 weeks is a good lead time. And you know what? If you're doing it 6 months from now, it's not too early to start, because the more time you have, the more early you can get it done and into the can, the better. So you're not waiting until the last minute to get it done. Did that answer your question okay? Yeah. Okay.
That's shorter than 6 to 8, 6 to 10.
Depending on the project. We're doing something for the government it would probably take 6 months, and they drag their feet for 6 months too. So, but just for example, you know, I would say you know, 6 to 12 weeks is good.